person who made him run a lot a few years ago.
Yes.
So can you tell us a little bit about running and how important it is it in cricket?
Well, I suppose from my perspective, I stood out as a cricket player, definitely not as a batsman with a very average, but what certainly, I suppose, made people stand up and notice was the agility that I had in the field and the ability to go all day in the field. And I think that was important, that fitness levels then weren't even considered. You know, it's become such a scientific process too. And if you think about the apps and utilizing technology, but those days when you were chasing me around the field, it was pretty much there and back as fast as you could, and making sure that your fitness levels were maintained to a degree where you could play at the top level for all, the entire game. Whereas now it's become very specific with regards to, or very scientific even. If you're a batsman, a bowler, a wicket keeper even, you've got a fitness trainer giving you those specific deals or jobs to do. And I think the greatest thing about running is that you can be anybody, and you can be any shape and size, and you can just get a pair of shoes on and
do it.
Hit the road.
Hit the road. Yeah. A couple of years ago, it's exactly like what he said. Our fitness was we put two cones 20 meters apart and we sprinted 10 times and did 20 sets after every single practice session. I can vouch for what his work ethic was like back then, and I know how much of hours you put in then. But can you tell us, what is Jonty's personal training regime like right now?
Well, right now it's about changing nappies at 3 o'clock in the morning. So yeah, that's quite a difficult thing. It's probably the toughest job that I've ever had to do, and fortunately I'm kitted out for that very difficult task. But it's, for me, it's also about mixing up sports. And I grew up in South Africa with a lot of open space, which you don't always get here in India, which is why running is such a good option, because you don't need a pair of cricket spikes or hockey boots and a hockey stick. I think what I try and do is mix up as much as possible. So in India, I do visit the gym. I spend a lot of time on the field of practice. I have sort of 4 or 5 guys, not even 5, maybe 3 or 4 guys at a time, which is quite high intensity. But in South Africa, at home, I get a mountain bike, I've got a surfboard. I do have a pair of running shoes which sit there and cry and look at me and want me to take them out on the road a bit more often. But I like being outdoors, so it's not difficult to get me out. But I do like to mix it up. And I think that's, as a fielding coach in India, it's always a concern for me is that people, when you play cricket, it's just about running forwards and backwards. Football, badminton, they're all those sort of games that I grew up playing hockey, soccer. They all allowed me to field the way that I did, because it's sideways movement, and it's giving you agility and explosive power. And soccer players, one behind here, will show again that it's not just about running forward.
Yeah, super. Jonty was the person who taught me that all those hours of practice is about preparing for an opportunity you don't know you're going to get. And that was one secret and one tip that I learned from him. So, and I've kept that with me all these years. Fantastic.
Pay me later. Sure of it.
Super. Ladies and gentlemen, and he's a multi-marathon runner himself, Mr. Amit War, please welcome.
Hi.
Super. Hi, Sharmila. How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Very, very well. So today we're here talking running, and you normally on the golf course swinging golf balls. And can you tell us, how do you incorporate running into your regime? Does it play an important part?
It definitely does. Well, let me explain. Where golf as a sport is concerned, it doesn't require a high level of cardiovascular endurance. It's more about explosive power between short intervals. So I really make it a point to do a lot of sprint interval training at least twice a week, wherever the globe I might be on, go on a park, golf course, on the road. So I guess the more number of sprints you do, it kind of helps to increase that explosive part of it and helps to recover between shots as well. So I think it's very important for me. And I guess Puma, I love wearing all the Puma outfits, and it's great to use all the shots and the stuff. I use it all over. So for golf, yeah, it is. I feel like, well, let me think about the particular aspects of it.
I've spent a little bit of time on the PGA Tour, and when I was on there a few years ago, running wasn't really a very big thing. So are you seeing a bit of a trend changing on tour? Are you feeling that more girls are more active? Are you seeing that they're taking running, or is it?
Yeah, it does actually. A lot more girls run a lot, but you don't need a lot of, you need a lot of short interval training, to kind of get it into the sport. And it really helps me that way, and it's very important for everyone to maintain fitness and to be really good.
Absolutely.
Feel good about yourself while running as well. So
Fantastic,
pretty good.
fantastic. And
Cheers.
thank you very much for taking
Thank you.
time off the tour and joining us right here.
Can't wait to get to the race.
Fantastic. Next up, ladies and gentlemen,